Hello everyone, and welcome back to my controversial series, Jazi's Tea. It has certainly been a while since I did one of these. But anyway, I am really excited about this one because Twitter actually helped me choose this video topic from a poll that I did in celebration of reaching 250 followers, and I have since stayed at that number even after like 2 or 3 weeks, but that's fine. Twitter doesn't really grow a lot, I guess. Today I'm drinking some vanilla chai in latte form. Yeah, really good. I also put a little bit of like turmeric in there, spice it up, you know? So today we are talking about simps. Again, at Twitter's suggestion. I kind of can't believe this is the one that won that poll. I thought the others might be like, I don't know, more funny. I don't know. Or more accurately, we are going to be discussing kind of simp culture. In the time where everyone seems to have an OnlyFans, or if not an OnlyFans, some other sort of platform to make money on the internet, simp has become a pretty common term in our culture. And this culture has kind of become more and more prominent as we see more people enter certain online spaces, such as OnlyFans and Patreon and the like. So yeah, sorry if the lighting keeps changing. I don't control the sun. Now, if you think I'm here to shame anyone for having an OnlyFans, you should probably leave, because this video is going to disappoint you. In fact, my entire platform will probably disappoint you because I am vocally pro-sex work. I also consider a lot of sex work to be its own art form, so when I talk about artists in this video later, I am going to be including sex workers in that. Because like, come on, have you seen some of these OnlyFans shoots? Like, they're just a whole aesthetic. It's a whole thing. So first, let's talk about why this culture might be growing, just from my own observations. So obviously 2020 has been a bad year for a lot of people. I mean, people have been losing their jobs, having to change jobs, having to learn new skills because their industry has taken a dive somehow. And this is a really common experience for a lot of people right now. Like, this isn't just a few people are having this experience. Like, most people know someone who has lost their job at this point because the economy's not doing too well, there's, you know, a pandemic, etc. Not gonna focus too much on that stuff. Because of this, it is not all that surprising that people are turning to the internet for, like, their side hustles. Either just to get some extra cash, or as their full-time job to survive. I mean, there's a lot of things we can't do, or that people are not comfortable doing, even if things have opened up, especially here in the US. So a lot of people are turning to the internet for their entertainment. And this works out because the people who are fortunate enough to have a solid income right now might also be lonely. For example, I know for a lot of people that having a streamer on in the background can really help that feeling of loneliness, especially if they're like working from home, especially if they're not naturally an introverted person. Though introverts can feel this way too. Sometimes I feel this way, and I'm an introvert. So if they're home more often than they're used to, then some of those feelings of loneliness are going to start creeping in. And like, I do the same thing with Star Trek. Like, I totally understand this. And sometimes they want to give back to these creators who are helping them through this experience. And I honestly feel like a lot of times generalizing an entire audience that financially supports a creator as simps is more of kind of like a joke at this point. Like, honestly, I will refer to my audience of lovely cats as simps sometimes, even though all of them might not be supporting me financially, or they might not be there like to simp like directly, but I just think it's funny, and I think a lot of other people have started using it the same way. It's kind of just like a slang term at this point for people who will like watch a lot of a certain creator, I guess. I think actually being a simp for a content creator goes beyond just like the occasional like stream tip or donation, or even like contributing to like a tier on Patreon. Like, I think it goes beyond that. I feel like it's more about general, dedicated, continuous support. And I find that this term is also more used when you find a certain creator like particularly attractive, and that's the way the term gets used a lot of, but I mean, you can be a simp for anybody, whether you're attracted to them or not. Of course, you can also simp for many creators at once, or you can simp for fictional characters, just because you might be like attracted to them. Even though they're not like a person, You feel like you want to give something to them, if you know what I mean. Overall, I think the whole 2020 situation has really contributed to the growth of a lot of creators. People are spending a lot more time online because there's not a lot of other things to do. And I think in turn, this is contributing to the simp culture, and we're simping for a lot more things and people now than we were in 2019. So why do people simp? Other than the reasons I just mentioned, this is not a new concept at all. I don't know where it came from that this is like a new thing. People have been throwing their money at artists forever, and celebrity culture and influencer culture has only enabled it further. For example, how many times have you seen people throw their money at a product just because a certain person endorsed it? Or even if it's just because a certain character or franchise is attached to a certain product, even if you don't even know if you'll like that product. For example, since I'm really into makeup, a lot of the reason that celebrity makeup brands are so successful is not because the product is actually like a top quality product, though sometimes it is. It's a lot more about that person endorsing it. Even if they didn't help like develop it, sometimes they do help, sometimes they don't. But products that have a sort of face attached to them tend to do a lot better. In my opinion, this is definitely a form of simping. In fact, I really wish people would stop using the word simp as like some sort of dirty word, like simps are like weak or something. Because in my opinion, when you're demonizing the entire culture, you're also demonizing an entire group of mostly women, actually, who are really just trying to get some coin and survive a lot of the time. Of course, there are a lot of issues with celebrity and influencer culture too, and I do think we should take some care to not put people on a pedestal too much because, you know, we're all just humans, we're all going to make mistakes, and just because, like, someone famous did something doesn't mean that's necessarily morally right, you know, there's some issues there. But honestly, why hate on people for being simps when they're really just giving back to a creator that brings them joy, which we need this year, let's be honest. I really think we need to normalize supporting artists more because, unfortunately, I see a lot of people online demanding things for free, and they are not entitled to those things for free. For example, seeing people who beg for free drawings, free photo sets, they want Patreon exclusive videos to be sent to them for free for some reason, and there are entire sites dedicated to stealing Patreon content and the like. People really want to steal paid content from independent creators. And I really don't see this as a class thing because I personally am not made of money and I can't afford to commission all the artists I want to. I can't afford to financially support every artist that I might want to support if I had more money. And yet you don't see me online asking for free stuff all the time, you know? And yet I see a lot of people who are way more privileged than me doing just that. It really comes down to respect, which is why simps are actually probably the stronger members of society because they're actually supporting the creators that they are enjoying and consuming. Like, that's not a weak thing at all. Like, if you're paying a girl for her OnlyFans, you are helping her. Why is that, like, a sign of being, like, a beta or whatever word they use or something? If you respect an artist, you won't be seeking out their content that is intended to be purchased for free. And really, if you're willing to shell out big bucks for something that's made by a big creator, why aren't you willing to pay for content from independent artists? Like, why would you go digging for free content from a smaller creator who is likely barely making a living or struggling to make a living off of their creations? And of course you can support a creator many ways without using money. Liking, sharing, retweeting, all of that stuff really helps us. All of us small creators do understand that you might not necessarily have the money to pay for our content. And you probably don't have money to support every creator you follow. But just because you don't have money doesn't mean it's okay to shame people who do and choose to spend it on certain creators. And it's especially not okay to take that a step further and steal that content so that you can have it for free and give it to others for free. You are not entitled to that content, and that is not in the spirit of the simp. So what do you think? Are simps actually the weak ones in society, or do you think that they should be celebrated for supporting content creators? Be sure to let me know your thoughts below. I kept this one a little bit shorter than my others, just so, you know, maybe people will actually watch the whole thing and we can have some discussions in the comments. I'm really trying to leave the discussion open. I know there's a lot of nuances that we didn't even begin to cover that related to this topic, so if there is something specific that you'd like me to speak on, leave a comment about it, and it might be in a future video, or I'll just reply, like a short little reply to your comment if I don't know if I can make a whole video on the subject. It's just that it's really impossible to wrap up every single nuance about this topic into a single video. But anyway, if you are feeling the spirit of the simp right now, my links are in the description below, my Patreon, etc. And let me know if you do like these more informational opinion videos, and I might make more of them. I just have a hard time coming up with topics because I don't know which topics people want to talk about, you know? But I love having open discussions, so yeah, remember those comments are there, and I will see you all next time. Bye!